Alright, so today I'm going to be using an alternative method to be polishing some stones using just a piece of glass, some water, and tumbling grit. So I saw this video, rookie rock hounding, and I thought it was pretty cool, so I'm going to try it out myself. I got this little thunder egg that I got from Ragnar Rocks, and so the first step, I'm going to take just a little bit of grit. I got some number 80 grit. I'm just going to put a little bit on the glass, and a little bit of water. Alright, let's see, we got a little bit of grit there. Pour a tiny amount of water on there, and then you just simply do figure 8 patterns here. So we'll check back in about, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes, and then we'll show you what it looks like after that first step, and then we'll move on to the other steps. Alright, so I've been going at it for almost 10 minutes now, and you can see there's already a little bit of a difference. The whole purpose of this first step is to get rid of any of the grinding marks that you got while cutting the rock in half. And I'm not applying a whole lot of pressure, but I am applying pressure. It's kind of, I don't know, we'll say a little bit thicker. You don't want it too runny, otherwise it's going to be kind of soupy. So, but yeah, it's working pretty good so far. One thing I also like to note is that you actually can feel the grit working on here. Applying pressure, you can feel the resistance on the glass. So, all right, so I'm done with both halves. It took about 35 minutes for each one. And I found out that it worked better when I was standing up and I was applying pressure directly down in front of me. Seemed to get some better results, and it seemed like it worked better when it was not too thick and not too runny, kind of like in the middle, so it could slide nice and smoothly. So just a little pointer for that. So I'm going to move on to step 2, and I don't think this one will take as long, so I'll show you the results after that, say in about 10 or 15 minutes. Alright? I just want to point out for this step also I'm using 220 grit. Alright, step 2 is done. Getting a much nicer shine on them. One important thing to note is that after you're done, make sure you scrub everything very, very well with some soap and water, toothbrush or brush or something, just like you would when you're tumbling rocks. Make sure you get all the grit from the previous stage off before you move on to the next step. So this step here, I'm going to be using 600 grit, and I'll get back with you when I'm done with the final step, next step. This one's probably going to take me about, we'll say 10 minutes. It's moving on a lot quicker than I thought it would, so yeah, I think each step is going to be quicker and quicker than the previous step. So yeah, I anticipate this one should only take 10 or 15 minutes, so we'll see when this one's done. Alright, so we are done with step 3. we're going to move on to polish, and I'm going to be using two different polishes. I got some 1200 grit, and then I've got my micro alumina. So first I'm going to be using the 1200 grit, and this one here I'm going to be using ripped up blue jeans for that step. I think it's going to be too slippery on the piece of glass, so I'll try it on the glass first and see how it works. But I'm probably going to end up using the blue jean from the video that I watched, so I'll let you know how that goes. We'll see in about 5 minutes after this step. Alright, so we are done with step 4, and I used it on the glass. Turned out okay, but for the micro alumina, I think I'm going to use it on the blue jean here. I'm just going to get the blue jean a little bit wet, pour some powder on there, and we'll see how that goes. So I anticipate this one only taking 5 minutes again, so we'll get back with you as soon as that step's done. Got a little visitor over here. Alright, let's see how this final step goes on the blue jeans here. Alright, so I find this works better if I just hold in the palm of my hand and just kind of scrub it. Otherwise, when I try to do this part laying in front of me, I don't know, it just doesn't seem to work as well as when it's kind of like I'm just like buffing it, like, you know, you're shining a shoe in this step. So definitely feels very, very smooth at this point. So I think after this I'm just gonna get some ivory soap and kind of hand burnish it too, and then after that I'll show you guys the final product. So we'll see you just in a couple more minutes. Alright, so we are done with the final process. I took it inside and I burnished it by hand with some ivory soap and scrubbed it down real good, and it's got a really, really smooth finish to it. Really happy about that. It's not really quite as shiny as I'd hoped, but I think it definitely looks a lot better than it did before. And this is dry. This is not wet. Turned out really nice, so I'm pretty happy with it. This is definitely a good alternative for someone that doesn't have a flat lap or something like that, or an angle grinder or whatever, a buffer Dremel. This is something you can do by hand, and it turned out pretty well. It took, all in all, for 2 pieces, I'd say about an hour and a half ish. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Take care. Until next time, rock on.